Well, after 2.5 incredible years in the White House administration and almost another 1.5 years with the campaign, my daughter announced that she's going to be stepping down at the end of June. As expected, the president was gracious and the press was vicious. But in the end, she was professional and respectful to all. So earlier this week, this proud papa had the chance to talk with Sarah Huckabee Sanders about her experiences on the road that lies ahead. Here is that exclusive interview that nobody else has. So Sarah, let's get right to the heart of why did you leave?
Look, it's been one of the most incredible experiences I could have ever imagined. In fact, far more than I could have imagined. It's been truly the honor of a lifetime and something that I will cherish forever. I've loved my time at the White House, but I also love my time with my family. And I've worked for the president for 3.5 years, and I have watched and had a front row seat to some of the most historic moments of his administration. And it has truly been incredible. But I felt like it was the hardest professional decision I would make, but probably the best personal decision I could make.
So some of those early reports that said that this was sort of being nudged out of the nest, I think that was overcome pretty quickly because the president has now brought you up to the podium, not once, but twice. Once at the White House, once at the big Orlando rally this past week.
I'm very grateful and very appreciative for the relationship that I have with the president. It continues to be a strong one. And as I said earlier this week and will continue to say, I'm very proud of the work that he's done. I'm very proud to have worked for him and for his administration. And I'll continue to be one of the most vocal advocates for the president. Even though I won't be in the administration, you can still expect that I'll continue to push for the president, support the president, and speak out in support of him as much and as often as I can.
I think there is a perception that you are always at war with the White House press corps. Tell me about the actual relationship that people don't see.
There's always going to be tension between the White House and the press. It's not new to this administration. I do think that there is a lot more of it in this administration. There is a lot of negative, far more negative press coverage than we've ever seen before towards this president than we've seen in previous administrations. And so that can certainly make it difficult. But like you said, there are also a number of true professionals when it comes to members of the White House press corps. And we have a good working relationship. They show up every day wanting to do the best they can at their job. And we show up every day trying to do the best that we can at our job. I won't name names, but there are certainly a large number of individuals that I've worked with in the White House press corps that I will miss getting to work with every day. Even some of the ones that were a little more challenging than others, I'll miss that back and forth, and certainly miss the opportunity and the role I got to play in part of the process of getting information out to the American people.
Well, I was going to ask you, were there any names you wanted to mention that you won't miss working with or seeing every day?
I'll leave that out for now. I don't think that that would be helpful to me or to them to call them out. It may actually make them more popular for me to list their names. So I think I'll refrain from getting into any specifics for now.
One of the things people may not know is how often you've had to travel with the president overseas. Describe what it feels like to be a kid from Arkansas who's having dinner with the Queen and sitting by Prince Charles at lunch, for heaven's sakes.
It's definitely one of the most surreal experiences that you can imagine. And to be part of the United States delegation for the UK state dinner just a few weeks ago was truly something I'll never forget. It's been one of, I think, the most important parts of his presidency is the relationships that he's developed with other world leaders and his ability to work with them to negotiate better deals for the United States. And getting to watch all of that play out has certainly been one of the things that I will take with me from this job and certainly remember forever.
Be honest with us. You sat next to Prince Charles, had the lunch with him. Did you know which fork you needed to use at every stage of the meal? Just asking.
One of the best tips that I got ahead of the all of the events on that trip was, when in doubt, follow the royal family. And so if there was any a moment that we didn't know exactly what we were supposed to do, they were true professionals in the process and helped make sure that none of us did anything embarrassing. So we followed their lead, and it worked out pretty well.
Now, the president has kind of intimated that he knows what your future is, and I found it interesting because I don't know. So maybe you could tell us, he's been saying he wants you to go back to Arkansas and run for governor. Is that what's in the future for Sarah?
We'll see what happens over the course of the next couple of years. I learned a long time ago, never try to chart a course too far in advance, because God is in ultimate control, and he'll make any path you think you've determined, it usually turns out pretty differently. I never thought that I would be sitting here after 2.5 years working in the White House and serving as the White House press secretary. And so, we'll see what happens, but we're excited to spend some time together as a family and see what's next.
Before we go, I want you to tell us about someone I think is incredibly special, and that's your remarkable husband, Brian, who not only encouraged you to take what he knew was going to be an all-consuming job, but who has been with you and by your side and encouraging you throughout the process. A lot of women wouldn't have a husband who would be that supportive. Tell me about the important role that Brian, your husband, has played in your surviving these past 3 years.
He's played the leading role. There is no doubt and no question. There's no way that this would have been even remotely possible if he had not been there, not just supporting me, but supporting our entire family. On the hard days, he was there to pick us all up, and on the exciting days, he was there to lead the charge in celebrating those moments. And I'm beyond thankful, not just to have had him in this process, but to have him as my partner in everything that I do. He is such a different personality than me, too, which is a great balance for our family and for our life. And I'm so thankful to have him with me on this journey. And I think we have a lot more fun left to have.
Well, I'm sure that's the case. Can I just say that, it's not something I say in every interview, but I'm really, really proud of you. Proud to be your dad. Grateful for the terrific job that I think you've done. But I say that with all objectivity, as you can imagine. And I don't know what your future is because you haven't told me, but I'm anxious to hear about it when you break down and let me know. But thanks for doing this. It's a joy to visit with you. And I hope maybe in all of this, you'll have a little more time for your dad, too.
Absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'm glad to know you don't end every interview that way. I would not feel nearly as special if you did. But as you know, I couldn't be more blessed not only to have a wonderful husband, but two amazing parents who have loved me and supported me no matter what was going on in the world. And I'm so thankful for that.
Can't think of any better way for you to conclude. Sarah, thank you very much. And for that last answer, she stays in the family will. How about that? By the way, you can follow Sarah on social media @PressSec, but you better hurry because June 30th is coming soon.